Hello everybody, how you guys doing? My draw wandering picked. Welcome in. Let's go ahead and jump in here. We have things to paint. I don't know which colors to paint them. Let's figure this out. The main thing I want to do today is I want to focus on all the lovely skin hanging everywhere on these minis. We did find out that these little squares right here that are everywhere, they're Nostroman tarot cards. So there's a bunch of them all over Curze. So we'll paint those appropriately. But that's what we have to do. So we're going to be painting some flesh here. I think what I want to start with, I want to start with just a really light flesh wash. Just a really watered down flesh wash on this stuff, just so we have kind of a nicer flesh color to build up from. So what I'll do, I'll put one drop there. Take one drop of Flow Improver, and then we'll do one drop of this Glaze and Wash medium. Hey Raja, what's up? Warhammer themed conference in Germany in a couple months. Just really doing research because I want to apply to do a presentation. Interesting. Okay. Presentation for a Warhammer themed conference. That seems really interesting. Okay, just mixing up this wash. It's probably going to be a little more of a glaze than a wash. Let's see how strong this is. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Hey Hobby ADHD, welcome in. Welcome in. We got things to talk about today, guys. I played a game of 30k last night against the one and only Spilled Paint Pot. And also, yeah, new heresy rules. There was 40k balance data slate stuff popped up. All kinds of things, yeah. Anniversary, mix of research, anyone who can justify a connection to Warhammer. That's great. That's really cool. Yes, I did read the article real quick before I jumped into stream. Yeah, I wanna talk about that stuff because I did post just a quick thing in the Discord about my initial thoughts, and I think it's really cool. Am I supposed to be like looking forward to a new edition of rules this much? I don't know, but I'm getting more excited the more I read. I'm still waiting to see what they do specifically with like vehicles, if they're changing anything. Or changing a lot. We were talking about this a bit last night, like what I think they're going to change, if this really is like a minimal change kind of rule set or edition. But I really like the statuses. I like how they interact with the like advanced characteristics, and I like that they help certain weapons do something cool even if they're not just like killing all the enemy. You know, that said, I already really enjoyed weapons that cause pinning and everything. Like, I liked my rotor cannons, and they specifically call out rotor cannons. My issue with 2.0 is pinning was too strong. So pinning as a rule would stop a unit from doing anything for an entire turn. And it does all the things. And I like that they basically took pinning and they spread the pinning rule out into like 3 separate rules. And they don't give you like specifics on what each of those do yet, but you know, the fact that it's not just one rule to prevent a unit from doing anything in the game for an entire turn is really nice. Like, you can be pinned and you're not going to be moving, but you can maybe still shoot or do actions or something, but it's not just like, you know, congratulations, you're pinned because you made one bad rule and now your unit can't do anything the rest of the game. Which I have admittedly done to people, and it ends up being just kind of a feels bad. So yeah, I really like how they're breaking it down into different parts. So like, sometimes, you know, pinning is you're just stopping a unit from moving. Suppressing is you're making it harder for them to shoot. And then there's like there's routing where they're actually just fleeing, and then there's the other one where they're like, they can't make reactions. And I think all of that is really cool. Yeah, making flamethrowers better is great. I have a feeling just by reading this this article that tactical support squads and heavy weapon squads are going to be really good. Not really good because they're going to kill tons of minis, but really good because they're going to put these statuses on minis. And makes me extra happy that I magnetized my support squad, my heavy weapon squads, because that means that I can just get some more Marines and put similar magnets on them, and then I just have you know, 2 squads at that point or whatever. So yeah, I'm really happy I did that. Really happy I did the magnets. Have the variety. Yeah, I'm excited about it. How's everybody doing? How's you guys Tuesday? That wash is really nice on there. It's doing just what I want. I'm really happy with how I thin that. So let's get this little chap here. We are all in on skin today. That's what we're doing. Skin and maybe some more on these little auxilia guys. Yeah, for the weapon on the Invictor Warsuit, is it only give you 1 pin connector for the arm? Yeah, yep. Magnetizing for those specific things is just seems to be the way to go. It was annoying to magnetize my special weapon squad, my support squad. I think I used 140 magnets for the 10 models and all their weapons. But then, you know, if I want to magnetize another squad, I'm only using, you know, 20 more magnets because it's the, you know, it's just the tactical marines. I already have the weapons magnetized and painted, so it's, you know, long-term payoff. Okay, and I think that's all the skin with a wash. Let's take a look at these cloaks. Yeah, and I mean my heavy weapons are no different. I don't know if I'll end up with more heavy weapons than special weapons or not, but all right. So that's drying. It's got just a nice like flesh color into it. Oh my goodness, I can't even keep this in frame. I'm gonna zoom this out a little bit, guys. Nope. Out. Let me do something. Let me try this real quick. Sorry. Stay. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. All right. I was like leaning over, like hunched over, like trying to get this thing in frame. Yeah, I think it's about time we start doing some highlights. So we're gonna take this this beige gray is a really nice color, really nice. Like, what is that? This is very much like the GW color, isn't it? What is that GW color people love? Do I have it here? Let's see. No, definitely not that one. I can't remember, but that's a very similar color. I like this. I like how desaturated it is. Roco colors tend to have like super bright and vibrant colors, so it's nice to have a desaturated color included in here. We're gonna put some of this on the palette, and then I think we're going to Flayed One Flesh. Maybe there's like a brown color that people love. It's not like Baneblade brown or anything. I can't remember what it is, but this might not be quite that color. I used to own that color. I don't anymore, so. Okay, so you're gonna put this beige brown, and then I think we're gonna try this peach flesh. This is like very bright and rosy as far as the skin color goes, but it might work. Or we just go like flat out with no with like no pigment in it, right? This might look good in contrast to the reds. This bright shadow flesh is another one that might be a thing. I want to stay away from this warm flesh. This would have been my first choice, but I already used warm flesh for like Curze's actual skin. Yeah, I understand. Oh, where am I looking? Finished projects? Cool. Wendy's kids meal toy. Oh yeah, my son has those like they're like DC toys, right? Nice. You painted a Wendy's kids meal toy. That's amazing. That looks great too. It's disturbing the guy only has 4 fingers. Like, now we know he's not human, you know. What if I did a little bit of both of these? Yeah, that's great though. Yeah, it's so funny. I'm gonna check out my my son has at least 1 or 2 of those. Okay. A couple of these colors out. I think we move straight into straight highlights here. Triad of them. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, Wendy's always has better toys though. Wendy's used to, man, they used to have, not, I mean, it was like at most a couple years ago. But yeah, Wendy's always has the better toys. They have toys that like kids would actually play with. These are actually like the superhero ones are kind of unique because they're just like figures. And there's nothing to them, which is unusual for Wendy's. Normally Wendy's toys are like very interactive, and you know, they might possibly be educational in a way, but they're like, you know, kids always want the McDonald's toys because it's like from a movie they know, but they won't play with them, you know. It's you just have the toy and then like that's it. The Wendy's toys though, like kids never clamor for them, but they're always like, you know, cool. Like they did like the Crayola ones with the colors, and you know, it had like the it was like the crayon that you open up and it's got all the cool colors and everything. Yeah. Or they have like buildable things that you have and they interact as a set, which is cool. And yeah, that's fair though. Yeah. I feel like we used to go out to eat more. We haven't in the past year or so, but is he human in a horrific knife or saw blade accident? Yeah, yeah. It just cut off the whole side of his hand. Terrifying. Who is that character? The DC guy, right? I don't know the DC superheroes as much, mainly because I haven't watched a DC movie in a long time. Is it Shazam? Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. So I did play a game of Horus Heresy last night. I played against Spilled Paint Pot since he was in town. Met up to play. We played a full 3,000 point game. We didn't like finish the game, just due to time. And it was his first time playing 30K, and He got down pretty quick just because he had played older editions of 40k, so that was fine. But uh, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I brought my Thousand Suns. I wanted to bring a bunch of tanks because I knew Iron Warriors are like their whole rule involves like blowing up tanks and dreadnoughts and stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring a bunch of tanks and dreadnoughts and robots and things like that. Would be that'd be fun. See if he can blow some things up. And he didn't have like a ton of anti-tank weapons either, so it wasn't gonna be like, I didn't think he was gonna just like straight up massacre my whole army right away. But yeah, we played. Our mission was a really interesting one. I've played quite a few times, but it's basically you deploy your armies, and then each player deploys one objective, and they deploy it in the enemy deployment zone. And so your job is to go grab the objective that you place in the enemy deployment zone. And if you have a unit there at the end of the game, a unit that can hold objectives on that objective, then you score a bunch of victory points. There are some other rules, like killing units in the first turn gives you a bunch of points, potentially. And like slaying the enemy warlord gives you points, and kind of some generic stuff. Destroying more units than your opponent gives you a point, those kind of things. So yeah, we deployed. We put our objectives kind of across from each other. And I probably should have changed deployment. But our board was basically, I put pictures up in Discord if you guys are interested. The board was kind of split into two parts. There was a more terrain dense like building area, and then there was a more open area that was kind of bisected by a river with a bridge. And we just counted the river as like difficult terrain. We weren't going to make it like block movement or anything. So that's looking good. Really good so far. So yeah, we deployed. I went a lot heavier. I think I had a lot heavier weapons on the more open side. I think mainly because I had so many more troops to deploy, just like more surface area I was taking up, that I had to put units over there. And I was kind of a dummy, and I put my objective right in the middle. But most of my scoring units were in the more dense side. So kind of ended up in a situation where I killed all of his stuff in the open area, but then I didn't have many units to get over to get the objective. I may have been able to get another unit onto it. I was going to get a unit onto it by the end of it anyway, so I guess it's fine, because it's not like you don't need more units on it. You just need, to be holding the objective with something. And what he did was really smart. He went all in on the side where he ended up putting his objective, and then he kind of drew me off of his objective that I was defending, and then he was moving a unit back there, so he was running a unit kind of Mission Impossible style, and just running back to my objective. So we would both captured each other's objective. The real difference maker was the first turn of the game I killed one of his squads. Just a small squad of like rotor cannon dudes. Just 5 guys. I killed him. And then he went and he blew up 2 rhinos and my Vindicator, which is like my tank destroyer mini. And he got 3 points off the bat for killing stuff on the first turn. So I gave up a lot of points in the first turn, and then I was kind of left playing catch up at that point, and the only way I could catch up was he was up by 2. I would have had to kill his warlord and not lose my own, and I would have had to have destroyed more units than he did by the end of the game, which I don't remember if we ever calculated that, figured out what we actually lost when we finished the game. If I did both of those things and then we both captured each other's objectives, the game would have been a draw. Like if he ended up killing my warlord, or you know, I didn't kill his warlord, or he killed more units than me, or that was a draw or whatever, then he would have straight up won because he was ahead by 2 points from that first turn. So yeah, that was going to be difficult. We ended up getting through 3 turns of the game before I had to call it due to time because it was getting late for me. But yeah, ton of fun. First turn, yeah, he killed 3 units. I only killed 1. Second turn, I killed a lot of his stuff. I felt like I kind of went through and just wrecked a whole bunch of things. And then he turns around, he does the same in his second turn. So it ended up being a really bloody game. I think a lot of that is just like flesh removed from his face. With that for now, though. All right, first layer of no, it's not. Nope, gotta do the loincloth here. It's like that seemed too quick. It was fun. We were hanging out, taking our time, having fun, and Zendro was hanging out with us too. So. Alright, let's add some more color. It's enough, yeah, it's definitely enough. Alright. Okay. Start with the cloak. If anybody is curious, we are doing Patreon Hangout tonight. So that is a thing. You want to come chill? We'll be in a Discord chat, just chatting. I might be painting Curze or something tonight. We're chatting, but yeah, it's a fun time. We just talk about any kind of random thing. Always a good time. Normally around 8:30 is when I get on. 8:30 Eastern. I'm happy there. Yeah, no problem. I understand Wandering Picked. Okay. Skin highlight looking pretty good. Let's get these other parts. Since one actually sleeping, and hey man, that's I mean, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. It's I won't hold it against you. Okay. Let's get that. I think I did just paint this, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Next highlight. Back at the cloak, we added more of our flesh, our peach flesh. What do you guys think about the new, all the new 40k changes? The balanced data slate and the points updates and everything. I sent a message to my older brother who started playing Blood Angels, getting back into the game, I guess, and like Blood Angels got some buffs, maybe. It seemed like their points kind of got buffed. I did a quick glance through. I'm at the point with 40k that I can't like tell what's what and what's good anymore. I stopped following the game for like 3 months and like lost everything because that game changes so frequently that I can't keep up with it. But I do always check out the changes just to see. So Ultramarines got a nerf, but they also like they drop points for some stuff, so it's not the end of the world. I had to work on a Wednesday? Oh, lame. System outage and I had to play. Oh, that sucks. Didn't you had, was it like a fire or something your office had a couple months ago? Seems like you guys are having all kinds of crazy problems. What's going on down there? It's a separate thing, yeah, okay. Shoulder, 28mm Terminator unit. Sergeant and assault. Oh, that's cool, yeah. I remember my old 40K Terminators that I had. Yeah, I gave both my Terminator sergeants the cool back banners. It's the way to go. Like this blue. Yeah, yeah. It turned out really good. I'm really happy with how the blue turned out. Yeah, thank you. I just I painted silvers, and then I covered it with Pro Acrylic transparent blue. That's what it is. Just a really great like mid-tone blue, yeah. Dudes here. Alright, we're gonna add more of this peach flesh. I'm liking the peach flesh in this color. definitely the most interesting like skin cape I've painted. So kudos to you, Curze. Good. On with the flesh. Just this last face here. Okay. What I did do, I brought down a Solar Auxilia Mini to help myself remember how I painted these. So, because that's the corpses on Curze's base or Auxilia Minis. So, I'll make sure I remember them. All right, we're doing straight up each flesh at this point. that's looking really good. I really like how that skin turned out. I might keep it there. I don't think I want to do anything else. Maybe one more layer. Like a 50-50 of this peach flesh and that heavy warm white. We'll see. I don't want that to turn this into like a bone color though. Need some separation between that, the flesh and the bone, because we have lots of skulls with half their skin ripped off. So okay, let's see what I do if I mix this peach flesh with a little bit of this warm white. Maybe one final highlight step here. Hey, Paint Meets Plastic, how you doing? just chilling. Painting the most chill thing, a skin cape. Doing our final little highlights here. I think that works. Home from work, nice. Yeah, the chillest of paint projects. Yep. Let's do this. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. I can't complain. Yeah, I get to hang out and paint right now, which is fun. Got to play a game of Horus Heresy last night, so that was great. And you got some rules updates for the new edition of Heresy, so that's also great. And my wife's last day of work for 2.5 months, so that's also really nice. Yeah. And she took my son to work with her today to clean up her classroom at the end of the year, so they're chilling together. So yeah, had a nice quiet morning, and yeah, it's just been really good. Good morning overall. Good day yesterday too. I can't complain. Thank you. Thank you. What kind of projects are you working on lately? Painting anything fun? Last little highlight on all these skin pieces, and then we're gonna move on to something else. All right. Necromunda commissions, that's cool. I painted one Necromunda mini a couple years ago. And it was an old, I want to say it was an Escher Ganger, it was a metal mini though. It was a lady that, just a wild sculpt, had crazy hair and everything. But yeah, that's the only Necromunda minis I think I've ever held in person. So, ugh. Great model. They do have incredible looking minis. Yeah, I almost got a mini, a Necromunda mini. I was gonna get for my my Imperialis militia for 30K, and it ended up, I didn't realize it was a resin mini. I thought it was plastic, but Necromunda has a ton of resin minis. There's the mini, it was like the blind psyker girl that I really liked. And I wasn't going to order direct from GW, so it didn't work out for me. I found alternate minis, but it's all good. Okay, I'm not quite sure. Let's see what's what here, but let me see something. I don't think he shows. Definitely Auxilia. This mini is very expensive. Yeah. I've dealt with my share of resin minis, and I don't mind them. I like the level of detail they have and stuff. I wouldn't mind getting them if I could get them at like my local store. I would buy a lot more resin, but since they're direct only, most of the time it makes it undesirable. Considering I don't want to pay full retail price for minis, and I don't want I want to support my local stores, so a lose-lose for me. Something I realized I really love about the dead minis on these bases, there's one specific thing, and I'm gonna have to look this up. This is a thing on the plastics, but I don't think it is. Look at it here in a second. Let me finish the brown on this guy. Let's see, what else? Just those boots, little putty things, and the okay. So this guy, you can get a better view of this on, and I think this sculpt, this was actually a this sculpt was a recast, and I realize there's a whole chunk missing here, but if you look at this power fist, it has these chains attached to the fingers right here. These chains go up, and there's this system right here, and you can't see it here, but what it is, there's these two like pulleys, and they both have chains on them, and I think what those are, they're pulling the chains on the power fist. So it's like a mechanical way of making a power fist using like pulleys and like heavy duty chains, which is really cool. I've never noticed that or seen that on a mini before, and I want to look up. Let me look up. Is that the plastic piece. I think that's yeah. The plastic piece doesn't have it. I wonder if that's a Mechanicum thing. I'm still debating whether these are actually Mechanicum or Solar Aux minis. I'm gonna paint them like Solar Aux, but yeah, the newer Power Fists don't have that. The plastic ones. That's really cool though. I love just like how just outright bulky the Power Fist is, and how it's just taking up, you know, the whole side of his body basically. Try to work the Power Fist, and you see how well it helped. Very cool detail. Yeah, almost like a prosthetic, yeah. I just imagine like how heavy that is too, like, you know, this dude doesn't seem to have much in the way of like holding up the Power Fist. So he might have some things helping him, but I imagine that's just incredibly heavy, so it's, you know, you swing it and there's a good chance you miss or something, but if you actually connect it and grab hold of someone, like, you just crush everything. It's really cool. T-Slayer, what's going on? How are you doing today? Probably be metal. The gold on his backpack, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's that. Just painting a skin cloak today. We kind of finished up the skin. Yeah, the cloak underneath. I have there's one more detail on this cape I need to paint. And it's all these little squares. Look right there. There's a bunch of them on the capes and around the mini, and these are tarot cards. That's what they actually are. So, need to paint some tarot cards. Glad to hear you're doing well. I went to the convention I told you about. Didn't get to meet Bruce Campbell. Oh, that sucks. Was he there? It just like didn't work out, or was it what was up with it? Some of these colors back here. So I throw my paint on the floor. All right. Okay, we're putting down some brown gray. Basically boots and gloves. Oh, we came in the day you were leaving. Oh, that sucks. That's too bad. Let's look armored on the toe. I think we treat them like they're armored as well. he obviously has no gloves. He's got no arms. This guy, on the other hand, Tom Savini, Ray Santiago, and Dana De Lorenzo. Okay, those names sound familiar, but I can't figure out who they are. Hey, Osoft, welcome. How are you doing today? Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. That's all we're doing for brown gray. I hope whatever's going on, I hope it resolves itself or gets better soon. Oh, that sucks. Well, I mean, sometimes you have bad days. Hopefully it's not like something that stays around, but you're putting in the effort, so figure out some other things here. Yeah. I'm doing well. Hey, sometimes people have just like a bad season in their life or whatever, and sometimes people are just pretty crappy. So hopefully, whatever it is, you learn from it. Say like, hey, I don't want to be like that, or whatever. Recognize that in people and Curtis DeVault, welcome in on YouTube. How you doing, man? Hope you're having a wonderful day. You're painting the base of Konrad Curze, Primarch of the Night Lord's Legion. Lurking need a break. Yeah, that's fair. Just chilling. Nice. Shoulder pad, some random chunks of things. Okay, I think we got the white gold on this guy. Let's get the other one. Do you have pigments to do after the base is done? I probably will, yeah. And the base isn't like in a finished state anyway. Yeah, I'll most likely be doing weathering pigments on it. I'll bring everything together. Also, a lot of blood. There's going to be quite a bit of blood on this mini overall because it is Konrad Curze. How long shall I let my minis soak in IPA before stripping? Not long. I don't strip my minis in IPA. Mainly because of the chance of it damaging plastic. Because eventually the IPA will start to get into the plastic. So I don't know, do it in like, start with like 5 minutes and then, you know, move up to like 10 minutes if that's not doing it, and then, you know, I would not go, you know, like overnight or something with IPA. If you're using a cleaner like Simple Green, then yeah, you can keep them in there for a month. You know, would slowly eat away at the plastic or the paint without messing with the plastic. But yeah, IPA is a little different. One thing to keep in mind, yeah, the Simple Green from the dollar store is good stuff. One thing to keep in mind is that if you primed your minis with a primer, the primer shouldn't be coming all the way off. So, you know, you're like scrubbing this mini with a soft bristled toothbrush, and there's still like all the paint just sloshes right off, and then you have the primer, and the primer won't come off. That's good. It's not supposed to. The primer actually like chemically fuses with the plastic, you know, like it melts itself to the plastic. That's what primer does. So if you're scrubbing off the primer at that point, you're probably working a little too hard and cutting into the details on your mini. So just a piece of advice if you feel like things aren't working out as well as you'd hoped. Okay, that's it for there. Yeah, Simple Green's really good though. Ugh. Yep, Culture American. What's going on? We need not you, you. Yeah. Ooh, I need to stop throwing my paints today. Three point oh is looking pretty good so far. Yeah, they put up a rules update today, and they talk about like statuses, and I am really liking the statuses right now. So I don't know if you're familiar with the current rules for Heresy, but in 2.0 there is an effect in the game called pinning. And pinning, if you pin a unit, and there's weapons that cause pinning or certain things that cause pinning, like there's psychic power that does it or different things like that. If your unit is pinned in current Heresy, they can't move, they can't do reactions, and they only fire snapshots, so they only hit on sixes. And it's like really debilitating. Yeah, it's the pinning is like an all-encompassing, like really powerful rule, and if you spam enough of it, it becomes really oppressive, especially when you have an army of psychers and you have the availability of a psychic power that basically auto pins units. So it can be really bad. What they have done is with 3.0, they basically split pinning into 3 different rules. So they turned it into pinned, suppressed, and there's a stunned are the 3 rules. And so that, basically can't shoot, can't move, and can't react are 3 separate statuses now, which is really nice. So it's more granularity, and it allows things to not be so broken when one of those things happens to them. So I really like that. I like the statuses. And they said specifically that flame weapons are going to put a rule on units called panic, which basically forces them to take like a morale check, like a routed check or whatever, to see if they actually like run from the battlefield if they take any wounds from a flame weapon. So what I see in these rules at this point is they're making these special weapons more unique, and it's not going to be just this one's more expensive and kills more people, this one's less expensive and kills less people. It's going to be like rotor cannons might be really good at pinning units, which will stop them from moving, and maybe heavy bolters will be good at suppressing units, which stops them from firing at other things. But then you have flamers that'll just outright panic units and make them run from a battlefield, even if they're not doing as much damage. Yeah, they're unsimplifying it. Yeah. So you see how people terrified that it was going to be the simplified, not simple 10th edition thing, and they're going the opposite direction in some really cool ways. I like having the different options on like how to mess with units that's not just killing them. So I've always been a fan of like better morale mechanics in games, which is one of the reasons I liked Star Wars Legions so much, because you can suppress and pin units in that game, which is really cool.
day's a good day when you paint. I believe it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your mind.
Hey, Smiling Beagle, welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. Hope you guys are having a great day. Good, that's good. Glad you're doing well. How's the stream? Tech thralls are max cool. All the other stats are in the dumps. Yeah. Yeah, and like cool could be really good because you test on the cool stat to check a lot of those status effects. So like pinned, stunned, and suppressed. You test on the cool. So like they'll never, like, no, not never, but it's going to be very rare that they test on those things and are affected by like pinning weapons and stuff. But since their leadership is poor, something that causes panic like a flamethrower or something might affect them a lot more. Nova piece. Oh, sweet, sweet. All right, you're basically done with the base. Awesome. That's great to hear. We start on the second piece. Oh no. What's your what pieces are you painting? So what was your first piece and what's your second piece? It's ball red contrast. This is Blood Angels red that I'm using on these guys. The corpses on this, so this mini is a commission I'm painting for a friend of mine. And I also play Horus Heresy. And the corpses on the base follow the color scheme of the Prospering Spire Guard, which I have. One of my, I guess, factions or whatever you want to call it. So I paint my own units as corpses on his base. This is an example of a finished Solar Auxilia mini of my own. I paint these little guys in batches of 20. From Loot Studios, Dwarf Druid guy. I'm tossed between a Poisonous Hag from Plague Miniatures or Octavia from Blackrock. Okay, cool. I'm not, or Black Crow. Okay, I'm not familiar with any of those minis. That's cool, though. Culture American, are you playing Mechanicum? I didn't realize you were a Mechanicum player. You might have mentioned it. I may have forgotten it, but okay. Red on that guy. The red will be nice against the blue too. That'll look cool. Okay. This guy. It's noon, isn't it? Noon on a Wednesday. A lot of work done on this mini. So we're, you know, getting toward the tail end of it. I think the base is the most tedious part we have left, and it's mainly just these two mortals on the base, and then some gore and some weird cards. Those are about the biggest parts left. All right. So today, guys, I think I'm gonna call stream a little early, but painted all the dead skin here. I'm gonna end up putting some blood effects on things and everything later, but the cape is almost done. I have these like little tarot cards that are stuck all over here I need to paint, so we'll figure out ways to paint them. Yeah, Curze's body is approaching the finish line. We use some silver and some other colors and everything, but that's where we are. And we're eventually going to have to paint the piece his foot is sitting on, because it's got to match these rocks here. So we're going to eventually glue him on there, and we'll probably finish him on his actual base so we can make sure everything matches. But we have that, and again, more blood effects and stuff, and we need to do some things in between the armor joints, and he's got a belt and maybe some of the other armor and stuff, the metallics, and yeah, and the bases with the solar auxilia. Those are all the kind of the main points we need to hit, and otherwise like general like gore and stuff that are on his mini, the base and his mini and everything. So those are the things we got to do. We're going to try to do a lot more. I'm going to do some, I think I'm going to paint tonight during the Patreon hangout, and then I'll be on tomorrow. We'll be painting more on stream and see how close we can get to finishing Curze. But you guys all have a wonderful afternoon, and thanks for hanging out. Good to see you, Mydraw. Thanks for the raid, Smiling Beagle, and yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.